For those of you who are not familiar with the world of NEM, we'll get into this a little bit in terms of the history in our talk, but NEM has been in the top 20 and top 10 for a while. Let me see where it is today.
16.
16?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you look every morning, I'm sure. It's the 16th largest blockchain in the world now by market cap. It's been as high as, I think, number 7 or 8. And a big, sort of theme in cryptocurrency investing, successful cryptocurrency investing, has been infrastructure. In the beginning, everything was about Bitcoin, and, Litecoin was called, silver to Bitcoin's gold, if you remember that meme from 4 or 5 years ago. And those were pretty much the main coins, Bitcoin and Litecoin. And then Ethereum came, and obviously Mastercoin before that. But Ethereum really sort of changed a lot in terms of infrastructure. It showed that that Satoshi's vision wasn't the final word wasn't the final word of God. That you could actually, as Satoshi had suggested, it's open source software, you can innovate on it. And young Vitalik Buterin, 19 when he wrote the white paper, and I was fortunate enough to have my firm Transform Group launch Ethereum. We launched the white paper initially at the Consumer Electronics Show in January of 2014, and then a couple weeks later at the first Bitcoin Miami show. Obviously the rest is history in terms of the growth of Ethereum. But really, they're around the same time were a number of other innovators looking to the space to say, what can we do that Bitcoin can't do right now? Obviously, with smart contracts, with Vitalik and Turing complete programs. And so Lan Wong is one of the co-founders of the NEM Foundation, and that goes back to, I believe, 2014 as well. Yep. And he then, in the last year, went to go and start PorximaX, which is now building decentralized applications on top of the NEM, on top of the XEM token. So New Economy Movement is what NEM stands for, and then XEM for Economy Movement is the token. And I'm going to sit down now, and we'll get started as people trickle in, so we don't get too far behind schedule. So do we each get one of these?
Yep, sure.
Testing, okay. Salon, welcome to CoinAgenda.
Thank you.
And give us a little history lesson, going back to the ancient days of late 2013, early 2014. What was your vision and your co-founders' visions there in Southeast Asia when you're looking at this heretofore kind of North American marketplace for Bitcoin and then Ethereum, about what you could do to create a whole new ecosystem?
Yeah, this is very interesting. I came in as a entrepreneur, and I was under the impression, I'm still a firm believer, that the blockchain or the Bitcoin that was powered by the blockchain technology then was something very good, but Bitcoin is only good as a value transfer. And in 2013, when I decided to go in, I actually went into Ethereum when it first started. And after having spent 6 months in there, I realized that the Ethereum is a very good experiment. It's very good. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's a very good experiment, but it should not and may not go into production. And I, being an entrepreneur, decided that I needed to move on. And that's when I found out about NEM as a project. And when I found out about NEM as a project, that was in mid-2014, and that's when they were designing, and the guys at NEM was actually very progressive, and they understood what an infrastructure project should be like. And they were not into smart contracts, much as I was not into smart contract, because we have our different thoughts, and we went on to move and develop the project into an infrastructure project to power the financial industry, and that's how it all started. And that's when we thought we should deviate from what Bitcoin was doing, just as a pure value transfer, but to include more utility out of the blockchain technology. And we drew our inspiration from an early project, and that was NXT. And that was when we actually took that, and NXT was a very good experiment as well, but it has been, haphazard. But we took the best of it, the concepts, and we actually developed them. And that was in 2014. We finally launched that in 2015.
So 2015, an interesting time to launch a token. It was what we call the long winter of Bitcoin, where it was around 200, 225 for a very long time. What was it like launching them? It wasn't technically an ICO, right? It was just so talk about sort of the launch of how you got your early contributors, and then how you launched into the market. It was a little bit more similar to NXT, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting thing was we only raised $100,000, and that was the contribution of Bitcoins and NXT coins, and that was what we did. $100,000 in early 2014, but all of us, we worked with a passion, and when we launched that project and put it into open in 2015. All of us, including myself, we were working for free. We never had anything, and when we launched, it was $0.00017. At its peak, it was 10,000 times more. In 2017, we were the second most valued coin in terms of performance after Ripple. We were the first, we're the first most after Ripple, so we were the second coin on top of the list of the highest climb in 2017, when we went into prominence, and we were actually the top 5 coin at one stage. So it was a hard ride, but it was all driven by passion more so than money.
So from $0.00017 to, at the height, it was over $2. Yeah. So that's about 100,000x, I think.
No, sorry, not cents. $0.00017. So
right.
It's what, 10,000
okay.
times. Yeah.
10,000 times.
Yeah.
So those of you who are looking at the XEM token in 2015 and bought and hold, congratulations. And those who didn't, well, you maybe have some extra chances for some of the next generation, what's happening. So what do you attribute the sort of rapid growth of the NEM Foundation, of the XEM token to, since there were other tokens that were trying to compete for infrastructure? Some have succeeded, some have failed. What would be the sort of core value proposition? Is it simplicity of programming? Is it the ability to have security? I mean, what are sort of the fundamental core values of the NEM protocol?
I would like to believe that the core programmer, at least one of them, is a genius, and that's how we managed to develop a solution, a platform that was flawless, and that was basically the turning point against any project out there that had a lot of bells and whistles, that had lots of money from ICO to actually push themselves forward. But we never had money, and that's why we took a very slow progress, slowly but surely. But the main value proposition that we have today, even today as I speak, is that we have a blockchain that is of production quality, which means it has not failed so far, versus many of the more illustrious blockchain projects out there, and because of that, it has gained a lot of traction throughout the last 3 years, where we have become a force to be reckoned. On that basis, that's where we grew our strength and the way we move forward has always been positive without failures.
So I'm going to ask one more question about NEM, and then we're going to get to PorximaX. So in the last year and a half, and when we first met and started working together, we at Transform work with NEM Foundation quite a bit, and with PorximaX now. Just full disclosure, we also like what they're doing. You really were looking to kind of make inroads into the enterprise market, just like Ethereum had. And then simultaneously, you launched Kamsa and Tech Bureau and started, like almost all the other infrastructure tokens are now, becoming a platform for ICOs. How are each of those initiatives faring at the moment?
Okay, as Tech Bureau, because it's Japanese, and the Japanese environment today is they're preventing or they're not allowing security tokens and even utility tokens. It's a big question mark. And Kamsa, which is being launched by Tech Bureau, came in at a time when there was a change or there was a decision on the in the whole framework within Japan that has actually prevented them from moving forward. So there is a big question mark today, and because of that, they haven't been successful in trying to move forward to create a platform for ICO. And with respect to some other initiatives that has been around the world, there have been quite a few initiatives that have, we managed to raise quite a bit using the NEM blockchain technology as a platform for launching ICOs. And the value proposition with the NEM blockchain in ICO as opposed to the better known blockchain or crypto is that we have a platform where you could actually issue a coin in 2 minutes without programming. And that's where our value proposition is. And that's why in the last year, the momentum has been picking up with respect to using NEM as a platform to issue tokens, ICO tokens as an asset in the minimum of time as well as minimum effort with respect to programming.
Thank you. So PorximaX, so you've gone from working without a salary and following this crazy vision of this thing that was, 0.02 of a penny or whatever, to being able to, obviously become very successful as one of the founders of a foundation that reached a market cap of over 10 billion at one point. So, what were your thoughts in terms of the need for a company like and a token like PorximaX as decentralized applications on top of this, and what part of the market is this going to be fulfilling? Why is this of interest to the investors and users in the room?
Yeah, well, in the last 4 years when I was marketing the NEM blockchain technology, the biggest challenge I have is to be able to market this to the financial industry. And because it is a very, regimented and regulated industry, it was especially hard for us to push anything into the financial industry. And often we are met with the need to do POC. It's a long sales cycle. And because NEM was originally designed specifically for the financial industry, obviously we had lots of problems. And what happened then was, while I was doing this 3 years ago when Storj came into being, that's when I thought, hey, this is a very interesting idea. So that was in the back burner for the last 3 years, when finally sometime last year I decided that we needed this technology. We needed an extension to the NEM blockchain technology to not only serve the financial industry, but to serve to the rest of the industries at large. And that's when PorximaX was reconceived as an extension of the NEM blockchain technology to include file storage. And what we did was then to create an application a layer on top of this platform protocol that we have been developed for the last year with PorximaX, and allow services to be developed on top of this platform. And these services could include things like KYC, land registration, document collaboration, business continuity, things like medical health records. And basically now what we have done is to extend the blockchain technology, and the limit is your creativity. So we have opened up the whole thing, and now with this, PorximaX can then go out to the market and offer to every industry that can make use of this technology for their businesses as an application. And that's where we are. We had our ICO 3 months ago in April. We had it for 2 weeks, but it was all under wrap in the sense that I only made a tweet, one tweet, and a few notices in the Telegram chat groups, and that was all I did. We did not advertise, we did not market, we did not do much of it, but I was leveraging, to be honest, I was leveraging on my followers that's quite huge, and that's where they supported me to further pursue with this project.
And so you end up raising
35
million on a couple of tweets. And this was after the down market had happened.
Yeah.
So obviously leveraging your previous success and people saying, hey, he already made me 10,000 times my money, I guess I'll bet on him again.
Yeah.
Just like if Steve Wozniak said, hey, I have a new idea, there's people who will back him. So
yeah.
I guess I'm going to turn it over to the crowd for some questions. Here's your chance to ask Lon Wong, serial entrepreneur in the blockchain, co-founder of NEM.
Don't be shy. Yep. Just state your name and the company, please.
Yep. Hello, Lon. I'm Callum Ames with VideoCoin. So is PorximaX, is it analogous to what Consensus does for Ethereum? Meaning, or is this a consulting group that is out there pushing use cases for NEM and wrapping services around those? Or maybe you just could explain a little bit more about the vision of this. Thank you.
Thank you for asking that question. Basically, what PorximaX is an extension of our NEM underlying technology, which is the NEM blockchain technology. But we have included a distributed file management system to sit alongside it, and subsequently to also include a distributed database solution to sit alongside it. So it is an agglomeration of various technologies put together and create an abstraction layer, the service layer on top of this, so that we could allow Netflixes of the world, or even Spotify's of the world, or a land registration, a government body, KYC.
So this is a token, not a services company, and the PorximaX token is trading now.
Yep.
And which exchanges are you on at the moment?
Well, again, we did not promote too much. Is in Cryptono exchange. We didn't want to spend $6 million to put it in Binance. I think that's ridiculous, right? So we have gone on to the second and third tier exchanges like Bilaxi, Cryptono Exchange. These are the only two exchanges at the moment, but we will include one or two more in the next month or so. Yeah.
Okay. And basically, so instead of being a consensus layer over Ethereum, you're more like what a counterparty is over Bitcoin, or what an ERC20 token is over Ethereum.
Yeah, you can say that, yeah. But it is more like a platform, yeah. Yep.
Great. We probably have time for one more question.
Hey there. Really cool. Mark Friedler from GigX. Quick question. Looking out on the landscape now, what protocols are you most excited about and why? And you can't say Ethereum or Bitcoin.
Good question. Or NEM.
Sorry, I didn't catch.
Which protocols are you the most excited about other than Bitcoin and Ethereum and NEM?
NEM.
I mean, look, this is what his career is. So he's
Okay.
not in here as an investor outside of NEM.
Let me explain to you where I'm coming from and why I chose NEM. All my life I've been an entrepreneur, and all my life I'm a technologist, a technopreneur, and I, as an engineer, has always been looking at the best technology to fit mainstream businesses, and it is not about rocket science that I'm really interested in, because a lot of rocket science are not practical. So because of that, we at NEM, when we developed this was more for mainstream application. Therefore, the protocol that we use are kept simple. You know how the consensus mechanism in any of this blockchain technology, and every blockchain technology is always saying, my consensus mechanism is the best. But I personally am not interested in consensus mechanism so long this consensus mechanism is secure, fast, and has the ability to protect the blockchain. That is workable, is what I'm looking at. So we're really not interested, like for example, the NEM, proof of importance, right? It is a slight change to proof of storage, but it's good. You know, it has proven itself not to be hacked. Is working. Is doing the consensus mechanism. So it's working. So there's no need for us to do anything else. So the protocol-wise, as long as it can perform and does its work, it should be a good blockchain technology. So it doesn't matter which blockchain technology, as long as it works.
Okay. Thank you, Lon. And I'm going to just sit here, and I'm going to bring up Hofer.